Hello and welcome to another episode of Eat In with Adam and John. I'm John. Today we are guests of the kitchen of the Inn of the Tartan Fox, here with Meg. What are we going to be making today, Meg?
Hi John, thanks for coming. Since it's March and just after St. Patrick's Day, I thought we would do Irish soda bread.
Great.
But it's pretty tried and true, you can't really mess it up, and the first time I made it there were so few ingredients in it, I thought there must have been a mistake. But I made it and it came out perfect, and that's the one I've been using ever since.
Well, that sounds great. I'm looking forward to it. Why don't we get started?
Okay, the first thing we need to do is start the oven right here, so that is up to temperature when you put the bread dough in the oven. 350 degrees will do it.
Okay.
It's pretty simple. I've got all the ingredients right here. First you're going to go with the flour, which I always use a unbleached flour because I can't imagine that eating bleach is good. So I give it a good stir because I'm too lazy to sift and I hate to clean a sifter, and this does just as good a job.
That's a great idea.
So you just need 3 cups of flour. And I have this handy little flour leveler gadget that my father-in-law actually made for me. He's a woodworker. And that comes in real handy for leveling off the amount of flour, because if you pack it down too much, you'll get too much flour and it'll be heavy. And then it will be the kind of Irish soda bread that people don't like.
We all know the importance of following the exact recipe.
And then you've got 2 tablespoons of packed brown sugar, which is pretty easy. So 2 teaspoons of baking powder.
Now, is this the kind that has baking soda in it as well?
It does. And a teaspoon of baking soda.
Okay.
And take my handy mixing fork. Make sure everything is really well combined. Throw in some currants. They always use currants over in Ireland and England. They're really popular there, more so than raisins like we would use here. And I like the currants because they're nice and little.
So is that about a 1/4 cup, give or take?
Gee, you can put in as many or as few as you'd like. It's really up to you. I didn't think about that because I just throw them in. And the secret to it all is buttermilk. You don't put in any fat, there's no butter, there's no egg. It's really just the buttermilk. So, and what is that, 1.5 cups in there?
1.5 cups of buttermilk.
Okay. So this is really a low-fat bread. And you just give it a good stir until it all comes together. And of course the best way is to just feel it. And that actually feels pretty good to me. So that's as quick and easy as it is to make Irish soda bread.
Wow, I never would have thought it'd be that easy.
And we'll just turn it out onto the board. The other issue with breads like this is just not to overhandle them too much. You don't. It's just like a pie crust. The more you handle it, the worse it gets. So, just so long as it's all sort of smooth, a couple quick turns, and you're good to go. Now, usually you can bake this all as one big one. It would take a lot longer, and in the mornings, if I'm baking this for guests, I don't generally get up early enough to do that. So I just make 2 smaller ones, and it cooks in about 20 minutes, and you're good to go.
Wow.
So I'm just gonna spray this cooking sheet. Just a little. And they're ready to go in the oven. Okay, about halfway through, we're going to give them a quick check and make sure that they're not browning too much on one side, and we'll just turn them around so the other side can brown a little more. But
So it's been about 20 minutes.
Well, I think we should take a look and see how they're doing. And they're looking pretty good. Now, there's a couple of ways to tell if they're done or not. One is to take your handy dandy little cake tester and just push it in there. And there's no gooey dough on there, so that's good. The other way is to just pick them up, and they are kind of hot, but you can juggle them. And it should sound nice and hollow. And it does. So they are done. So, would you like to slice into one, or would you? Okay, there you go. These are good because the crust gets nice and crunchy and the inside is nice and moist.
Well, it's been another exciting episode of Eat In. This time we have been guests of the kitchen of the Inn of the Tartan Fox with Meg. Had a great time here as guests, and I hope you'll join us again next time on another episode of Eat In with Adam and John.